implement a plan of restorative justice. And so I suggest that the speakers tonight address those points with a view of offering effective and also credible solutions. Thank you very much.
Our thanks to Dr. Maynard for introducing the topic under discussion tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's let the show begin. As Mr. Stevenson mentioned, there are 4 scripted questions which have been disseminated to the panelists prior to the event. Subsequent to the 4 scripted questions, 2 audience-generated questions will be offered to the panelists for consideration, and a final question will be generated from Facebook Live users. We will now begin with the 4 scripted questions. Each respondent has 2 minutes to give their answer. The first scripted question is as follows. How do you, or how does your party, propose to improve the criminal justice system to reduce the high level of crime in our country? 2 minutes to respond. Our first respondent will be Senator Honorable Keith Bell from the Progressive Liberal Party.
Dr. Maynard, Dr. Davis, panelists, ladies and gentlemen, Bahamians, good evening. I observed the established protocol, and in the interest of time, I will get directly into answering the question. Having listened to Dr. Maynard, I would submit that the Progressive Liberal Party has produced the most comprehensive crime-fighting plan, and it's all embodied in our Charter for Governance. As I listened to Dr. Maynard just now, and his points he made, there are 4 broad pillars upon which any crime strategy must rest on. The first is crime prevention. The second is crime detection. The third is crime prosecution. Of course, the fourth always has to be rehabilitation. The Progressive Liberal Party has always been a party of second chances. But let's talk first of all prevention. In order to address the 4 broad pillars, one must first of all have a plan. I would submit that our plan is embodied in this document. You can look online as well as you can get hard copies. First of all, as it relates to prevention, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and the Department of Correctional Services, they are all in the forefront of our crime fight. And our responsibility of the government is to first of all provide the legislative framework to ensure that these agencies, our law enforcement agencies, have the capacity, and of course they have the resources to fight crime. This Progressive Liberal Party government has in fact not only enacted legislation, but we have also given each of these entities, these organizations and agencies, the necessary resources to fight crime. First of all, we have the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The first thing we did when we came to office was repeal the provisions of the Police Act, which tied the hands of the Commissioner of Police by placing him on contract. It was unconstitutional. The Office of Commissioner of Police, and we are one of few countries in the region where the drafters of our Constitution placed the Office of the Commissioner of Police and the Deputy Commissioner in the Constitution. And they did it precisely to ensure that politicians do not interfere with the security of tenure of the Commissioner of Police. We have ensured that we have given the police force 427 officers. We have introduced 51 officers, yes. And as a result, ladies and gentlemen, we have seized in excess of 2,000 firearms and 41,000.
Friends, in the interest of order, I would ask people to be quiet during everyone's presentation. There's to be no heckling and no interrupting the speakers. Okay? please reserve your claps until all panelists have presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bell, for your response. From the Free National Movement and also the candidate for Mount Moriah, we will now have Mr. Marvin.
Thank you, pleasant good evening. So, you heard Mr. Bell a second ago. You now see the results over the last 5 years. And so, I'm not saying that nothing was ever done. The point I'm about to make is that we have a flawed system. And we must fix that system. So the FNM is proposing a multidisciplinary, a multi-agency approach to fighting crime. Presently, our focus is almost entirely on enforcement. And that's why we're headed in the wrong direction. And so you can pump as much money, as much resources as you want to, but if you have a flawed system, the end result will also be flawed. So our focus will be on education, prevention and detection, enforcement, investigations and prosecutions, right? As well as sentencing, rehabilitation, and reintegration, okay? And so some of the things that we intend to introduce is that we want to bring balance to our system. So we will introduce an anti-corruption act, okay? We will bring into place an anti-corruption agency because there is a perception out there that only the little man gets touched. Yep. The FNM will touch everyone. The FNM will remove itself from the interference of these agencies, allow all of the stakeholders to come together to look for meaningful solutions to impact on our communities, to impact on our streets, to impact in the prisons, and to get people back to work. We are very serious about this. We intend to do it, and we intend to do it effectively. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Dames. I would just like to remind the audience that if during the presentation there is a question that you would like to have asked, please raise your hand and we will have two faculty members come to you with pieces of paper for you to write your question on. So just a reminder out there. We will now have Mr. Stephen Greenslade, the Democratic National Alliance candidate for Golden Isles.
And thank you so much for calling my name after I came up here. I realized you didn't call my name, so it's a good thing that flew well. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here participating in this debate and discussion. Thank you. I believe the improvement of our criminal justice system will begin with finding the loopholes or the cracks and fixing them. As we've heard before, we have a complement of programs. We have agencies. We have a full government structure. We have a full judicial structure. And we have a full correctional institution. We need to use them and use them effectively. All the programs outlined earlier are capable or are parts of a whole system that provides safety and security for the citizens of this country. And the government, as the executive, is primarily responsible to ensure that the citizens of this country are indeed safe. Some of the things we believe we should do to achieve the improvement of our system is to ensure that law enforcement get the equipment necessary to carry out their duties. Ensure that any interference, supervisory or not, oversight of the judiciary is kept away from the judiciary in terms of government interference or any other influence. We must ensure that our correction system do indeed rehabilitate offenders. Ensure ensure that the separation between serious offenders and minor offenders does not get compromised. Because we believe that a lot of our young men are finding themselves trapped in the system after just being involved in minor offenses and interacting with, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greenslade. The founder and visionary of the Bahamas Constitution Party, Ms. Sherelle Ali McIntosh, will now respond.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, the mic. Good evening, everyone. If you don't mind, I prefer to sit so that we don't have to waste so much time. Protocol having been established, the BCP is a conservative political party, and all of the operations and governance will be based on the commitment to the rule of law and the concepts of biblical principles of morality. The preamble of the Constitution states that we should have an abiding respect, and that original intent said how we agreed to be governed. And thus the Founding Fathers put it in place that the rule of law might be a powerful instrument in the ability to restrain the executive, facilitate the right award by the judiciary, to cause proper implementation and handling of citizens by public officials like the police, and to command the society to obey the law. Society is produced by laws, natural and written law, and the only reason there's need for written law is because the natural law is not in place, the absence of it. Therefore, we propose, in order to improve the justice system, society must have a collaboration of ideas and initiatives in order to do so. We propose that we must reorder the entire society if we are going to be able to change high crime. And we propose the reconstruction of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas by several points. Ethic laws that will introduce how we restrain the management of the country by leaders, their personal behavior and integrity. We propose the prosecution of high officials for malfeasance in government. We believe it is necessary. We also believe we must uphold the standard in which public officials operate. We also believe that hope must be given to society that they too can get justice, because all persons have the same law and justice. So the commitment to the rule of law is the commitment in which the Bahamas Constitution Party will operate. If a new, fresh philosophy of righteousness and lawfulness is not brought before the Bahamian people, for the... Oh, must be louder. Sorry.
Thank you, Ms. McIntosh. Mr. Alex Morley, leader of the African People's Socialist Party, will now bring his party's response to the question.
My name is Alex Morley. I'm the chairman of the African People's Socialist Party. Thank you very much to the organizers of this event for inviting me. I can get straight to it, brothers and sisters. This country, ain't no hope in the society, man. There ain't no hope in the society. I've been in the court this morning, 10 young men was in juvenile court this morning. 10 young black men was in juvenile court this morning. I know if we control this economy, if we build an economy that's based on the interests of the people in this country, we could save them young men. I know that. That's what the problem is. We can't separate crime from the economics and the politics in this country. And the truth is, we don't control this economy. You see, that's what's going on around here. You see, just how they could sit down and plan for 5,000 other people to come from another country and work here. That's just how they could plan for 5,000 youths to be working. You see, but we got to take control of the resources in this country, and these people who be in charge, they don't have a chance to do that, brothers and sisters. They don't have a chance to do that. All of them, they're not.